This is a two-sided video. The first half is going to address the actual conversion of this 2003 YAMAHA G22-e golf cart with a 48 volt battery system, lead acid, to a modern lithium iron phosphate battery system. The second half, the first half, will address how that process was done and show the parts being fitted. And the second part will be why I picked the battery I did, which happens to be a Oasis energy battery, and why I bought it, from where I bought it from. Converting the Yamaha G22 to a lithium system was really pretty easy. I was impressed by how easy it was. First, you pull the batteries out, and then you either neutralize with like bicarbonate soda or some other way, water even will do it, the old acid that has caused the rust on the angle iron rails that run from side to side that support the battery. So you get it cleaned up, and then you move on to the next phase, which in my case was I did it with a neutralizer and then a self-etching primer. And I did follow that up in time with first used Rust-Oleum to paint all the angle irons, and a 12-inch by 36-inch iron shelf, steel shelf. Regular shelf you'd find in most cabinets, most I don't know, metal shelving things. And that was there because the battery is too wide to fit between the angles, and it has to sit on top of them, and I thought that would spread the load and make it a little safer. So the final process was to put that together, followed by installing the lithium battery. Okay, compartment for the Yamaha lithium battery and for the old lead acid batteries. I cleaned the compartment up. I put paint in here, and I picked this regular little shelf and cut notches here for the angle iron. You see the angle iron over here. I notched the shelf, and it sits down there, and you could put, you know, anything heavy you wanted onto it. That's really nice. I'm a little disappointed they didn't fit between the angle irons, but you know, it is what it is. So here he is. Top is off for a good reason, and I don't think there's much going on. The batteries, the old batteries, are in the truck bed. They're going to get recycled somewhere. And over here is the new Eco, or I should say Oasis energy battery. I don't know who made it, but it sure is cool. It's got a steel case and sides, as far as I can tell. Here's the little monitor that comes with it, and it gives you the readings of the voltage. Let's see, it's headed for 50, taking 17 amps, 47% remaining. That would be usable, but I'm not going to put it in the cart right now, of course. Anyway, it's got pretty cool stuff. You can pick your language right here, and I think the next page is off, so I'm not going to do that. But there's the various things. This is the monitor plug right here, or display plug. And there is another one called a communication plug, and then the off-on switch, and positive and negative. Okay, I'm pretty pleased. I would surprisingly, I expected a good battery, and I didn't expect a metal case, and that's a real plus to me. So I think we can turn this off and see how it goes installing. Since this is a Yamaha golf cart, and it's a G22-e model, my purpose was to show a couple of things, and one of those was the changes that were needed to allow a potassium battery in there. LiFeO4. So the thing I want to talk about now is how I arranged that. Now, as you can see, there's my little metal shelf, 12 by 36, stretched over these, I'll call them angle iron. They are not really, they're a Z, maybe even, yeah, it's a Z shape actually. So, what I did on both sides, I made a little piece of metal, cut a piece of metal, it's a 10 by inch and a half. I lined it up, and I drilled holes directly here and here. So then I take this thing and I put it under here, but not physically here, but as you see, those holes will fall between the two Z irons, whatever you want to call them. And then using these bolts, they'll be pulled. They fit in those securing slots on the battery itself, on the battery box. And I don't know if you can tell that, but there's a notch here and a notch here. So they go down underneath, and these bolts reach down to the Z and clasp them and hold them in place. Same thing on the other side. I've got a video coming that you'll be able to see that next session. So there's the battery in position. You could not move it by hand, and hopefully not with a bouncing golf cart. So I'm pretty sure it's secure and safe. The battery charger is just sitting here right now. I think I will mount it like maybe, you know, somewhere with a gap between it and the battery, and I'll just put some screws through these holes and on four corners, and it should be good to go. And then as you see, this is the connector. I forget what they're called, but this connector is attached to the battery. The battery connector, okay, that is this one right here. They mate. Whoop. Sorry for the, can't do this with one hand. Okay, got this one and this one. They just fit together. And the battery charger works like crazy when you charging the battery. That kind of concludes the customization of the cart of the Yamaha G22 using what's called an OasesEnergy lithium battery. Cool. So this is the mount that holds the battery in place. I have two roughly 3/8 bolts going up and fitting into the battery steel base plate to hold it in one position. And then see, these are the angle irons that hold weight. There's the shelf that I'm using. Down there you might be able to see those two bolts coming down, and they have the other mount. It's a 10" by 1 1/4, approximately 1 1/2 by 1/8". It's sufficient to hold 100 pounds, I think, most times. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so there it is. I had to make a little bend in it. But basically, that's the way it works. It's just a tension. The battery, if it wants to get out, it'll have to pull these two, the two support or attachment things loose, and I don't think it can do it. So, okay. Now we come to part 2 of the video of how I found and purchased the OasesEnergy battery. And that story is simple enough. I was on eBay and I found a battery. It turned out to be an OasesEnergy battery. It was a 48 volt 50 amp battery, and I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. So they claim it's for a golf cart. And that kind of surprised me, because most of the golf cart batteries had much greater amperage hours, although they were all 48 or they claim now they're 51.5 volts, whatever that is. Anyway, I went to the website to have a look at the specs on the thing, and it turned out they did not. The manufacturer did not say that this little 50 amp hour battery was for golf carts or any of the other motor that they would mention. So I sent a message and I asked specifically whether it was intended for golf carts, and they said, oh no, this thing is intended for energy storage. We have batteries specifically designed for golf carts. And with that information, they referred me to a couple of them. I went and looked at them, and by God, they looked really good. The 105 amp one that I ended up buying had a 250 amp BMS, which was far greater capacity and strength or power, I should say, than any other ones that I noticed on other batteries, except that there was one I determined it was $1,500, and the price had been marked down from $2,000. So I thought, holy, 250 amps is pretty cool. Also uses grade A prismatic battery cells. Now, I don't know what prismatic is, but grade A is always good. And it's comparable, at least, if not better, than other outfits that offer grade A batteries. So, other features that I found really cool were the fact that it has a metal case. Now, they didn't say that, and I found that out later, but it's really impressive, because if you do have an internal problem with the lithium battery, it can turn into a fire mess, and a metal case would help encapsulate that fire, keep it from burning your golf cart down. Anyway, other specs that were equal or better than other batteries. The fact that it'll pull 250 amps on a continuous basis, and for surge or inrush, they'll take up to 300 amps for 30 seconds and up to 500 amps for 3 seconds. So that gives you, if you have to step on the accelerator pedal, gives you a little more oomph to light off the motor, the DC motor that you're running your golf cart with. So anyway, those specs were equal to or better than any other golf cart batteries I found in that price range. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger, ordered the battery. It was at my house in 2 or 3 days, and got installed, and it was doing a great job in my golf cart. I now have a lot more information from the manufacturer about their warranty and the tech support. Okay. The warranty is a 5-year warranty, and like all warranties, it covers defects in materials and workmanship. And they will tell you what those are. It does not cover damage from improper use, storage, failure to follow directions in the user manual, unauthorized repairs, or abuse. One interesting thing that it also covers is that if the battery is found to be defective, that is a warranty item, they will cover the cost of shipping, return shipping, and then I suppose shipping back to you with the replacement battery. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, tech support is unlimited, lifetime tech support, and I found it pretty astonishing when I got some details from the manufacturer, at least their tech support person that I deal with. They can diagnose your problems on your battery using your own mobile phone app. They have the battery comes with a display, and then you go to the app store and you buy an app that talks to the battery, and that can be used to diagnose the problems inside the battery, whereas the display merely reports on what's going on, from an electrical standpoint. The other aspect, if the problems are generally, if the problems are of a specific type, they can supply the customer with the software and cables so that the customers can view that information on their computers and then report it back to the tech support people in China. Pretty cool. Far more responsive, I think, than anything I've seen from any other company. Well, other than like Battleborn or one of the American companies where you're right here in the States and you can pretty well talk to them. But for a remote situation, I think it's terrific. I think their tech support seems sensible and practical and user-friendly, and those are all good things. So that goes on for the life of the battery. Again, pretty nice. So that's it. So I like the battery, I like the warranty, and I like the customer service a lot. So that's why I bought it. And they're not paying me for this this testimonial, and that's the story. Thanks for watching.